Hi everyone. As the name of this video suggests, I'm going to be talking about the most efficient way to pay off your student loan debt. Now the short version of this and the quick answer, if you're interested, is to always pay off the debt with the highest interest rate first. But there are some nuances to this. First of all, that is applicable only if all of your loans are federal. If you have private student loans, a lot of times they may have higher interest rates, variable interest rates, or they may have other rules. There are a lot of protections that you get if you have federal student loans. So we'll get into that a little bit. The other thing we want to talk about here is what to do if you have extra money. And when I say extra, I absolutely mean extra, as in money that you don't need to live, buy groceries, pay rent, or money from your emergency fund. So, with that being said, let's talk about two popular methods for paying off student loans, for really paying off debt in general. And remember, we're focusing on federal student loans here. The first method, which is my least favorite, is called the snowball method. And a snowball is a metaphor, right? If we were to form a snowball and then roll it along the ground, it would pick up more snow. The more we roll it, or the farther we roll it, the larger that snowball becomes, right? So the way this translates to loan payments is we pay off our loan with the smallest balance first. We really don't even consider interest rates, we consider the smallest balance. Why is that? That's because it makes us feel good. So every time we pay off a loan, we feel better about ourselves, right? We get a hit of dopamine. It feels great. And it's motivational. So you see yourself making progress. Every time you log back in on your website and you look, wow, that's one less loan I have to pay, right? And if you have student loans that are, let's say, $500, they don't take very long to pay off. But as you start getting into the larger loans, you may have a loan for $10,000. That's going to take a while to pay off. So you don't feel that instant gratification, right? With the snowball method, you get what's close to instant gratification. The problem with this method is that it doesn't account for the interest rates, correct? So interest rates play a big role in how much you're eventually going to wind up paying on your student loan debt, okay? The other method, which I personally prefer, is called the avalanche method. The metaphor for the avalanche method is obviously an avalanche. It starts heavy and it picks up steam as it goes down and it wipes everything out, right? So the avalanche method, in contrast to the snowball method, you actually pay off your highest interest rate first. It doesn't matter what the actual balance of the loan is, you still pay off the highest interest rate. Why is that? Well, that's because you're getting more dollar for dollar, right? So let's say you have a really high balance on a student loan, but the interest rate is moderate, 3%, right? Or you have a very low principal on a student loan, but a high interest rate, 7%. You're paying less money to save more money if you pay off the high interest debt, right? So as we do this, over the course of however many years it takes you to pay off your loans, you have saved more money in interest because you focused on your high interest debt. Now, what I mean by this is focusing on our high interest debt, we take extra money. As I said before, not money that you need for groceries, not money that you need for rent, not money that you're using to save for an emergency fund, so on and so forth. Legitimate extra income. For instance, if your minimum payment is $50 a month for your high interest loan, then put extra, an extra $10, an extra $20. If you have enough, double it, right? So if you take a $50 payment, you double it, you're now paying $100 a month, you're essentially paying off this loan twice as fast. And that works because every extra dollar you put towards a monthly payment actually goes towards your principal. So as your principal goes down, the amount of interest you accrue each month and each year also goes down, right? So you can see where this starts to go really, really fast. Now, the other thing to discuss here is what to do if you get a lot of money at once. What I mean by that is sort of like a windfall. So, did you get a bonus at work? Did you get a signing bonus for a new job? Have you gotten a gift from someone? Right? Let's say you got $5,000 for whatever reason. It's extra money. You don't have to spend it on anything. What should you use it for in terms of student loans? Put it towards your loans with the highest interest rate, because right then and there, let's say you have a loan that's right at $5,000 and let's say 7% interest, no interest is ever going to accrue on that loan, or you've stopped the interest accrual on that loan, and whatever your monthly payment was for that loan, you no longer have to pay that anymore. So your monthly minimum payment just went down by that amount. So that can save you money, or you can take the money that you would now be saving and put that towards the rest of your loans, right? So from a mathematical point of view, the avalanche method is the best. But again, some people, a lot of people, actually all of us feel better when we see progress being made, right? So we're putting a little extra towards these high interest loans. We have to be okay with delayed gratification. Whereas if we pay off our low balance loans, we get immediate gratification, but we wind up paying more in the long run. So if you want proof of this, there are many calculators online that you can go to, or you can watch a previous video that I did in which I break down how student loan interest is accrued, and I have areas where you can, it's a spreadsheet where you can put in what the monthly payment is, what your principal is, what your actual balance is, right? Because if your loan has been accruing interest, then you actually have this balance, which is higher than your principal, most likely, right? As well as your interest rate. So you can play with all these, and it will tell you how many months it will take you to pay it off under those conditions. It's kind of a long video. It's about 30 minutes, but it goes in detail how you can make your own spreadsheet using free software like Google Sheets, right? But again, you have to choose one. Stick with it. I suggest high interest. Now, let me say something else here. You may see a lot of videos or a lot of articles with a catchy name like how I paid off $200,000 of student loans in 2 years. I'm not going to say don't fall for that, but don't assume that that's realistic for everyone, okay? These people, they either used the avalanche method or the snowball method, or they paid them all off at once. But in these videos, it's always a really, really big number. Like I said, $200,000. Here's the problem with that. In order for you to be able to pay $200,000 worth of student loans in 2 years, you had to make at least $200,000 over the course of 2 years. And actually, you had to make more than $200,000 over the course of 2 years, because for you to spend that much money on student loans would mean that you essentially had $200,000 that you didn't need for living expenses, that you didn't need for groceries, that you didn't need for gas, which means you made a lot more than $200,000, right? So the people who are able to do that either have amazing side hustles or they work in jobs that make a lot of money. Now, I don't know what the average income of individuals with student loans is, but I guarantee you the average student loan debtor cannot afford to pay $200,000 over 2 years, okay? So let's be realistic here, right? So these two methods, very realistic, time tested. I suggest you put in the effort to actually calculate the difference. And by the difference, I mean the difference in the overall amount you will pay over the course of your loans using both the snowball and the avalanche. But I think you'll find that the avalanche method is the best way, all right? Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember, check out that longer video that I did if you want to know exactly how to calculate how much you are going to wind up paying and how long it will take you to pay. Until next time.